On this episode of Kingdom Mogul Conversations, I talk with parent leadership coach Shaun Maloy about how to fix the broken public education system. This and more on Kingdom Mogul Conversations.
First and foremost, I'm a father, and so I have 6 wonderful children, beautiful wife, and we play as surrogates to children in our community. We literally have 20 kids on our block, and they all corral at our house. We do a summer camp at our homes, free for the children. But also, about 5, 6 years ago, I decided that I wanted to give back to my community, and I actually transitioned out of corporate America and moved into the nonprofit sector. Started out doing help and employability skills for those who are looking to get back into the workforce. Then we started mentoring at our alma maters, our elementary and high school. And then we got involved with doing parent engagement across the school district. So we've been trying to help parents specifically increase their self-efficacy, to learn that they have strength as they come together, to kind of make a demand on the things that they need in regards to their education in the schools and even in their community. So that's what we're doing, just trying to help strengthen and build up families, children, parents, and schools and in our community.
Great. Now, when I met you a couple of years ago, that's exactly where you were doing.
Yeah.
As a parent organizer.
Yep.
So for those who don't know what a parent organizer is, can you give them a synopsis of exactly what that looks like?
So a parent organizer so school districts have funding allocated specifically toward parent engagement. And so we were responsible for spearheading parent activities at the school. So schools, parents will have workshops that dealt with sort of the curriculum that their children would have, to kind of have some continuity from classroom to home. So they would have workshops for parents dealing with science, math, STEAM, homework assistance, so on and so forth. And so our job was to kind of engage the parents and get them active and participating in those workshops and taking advantage of the resources that were available for them at the school.
You also have some military experience, right?
I do.
Navy,
Air Force. So
Air
aim
Force.
high, aim high.
Literally, right? Yes. So how has that training helped you in the work that you do?
First and foremost, discipline. I think at a young age, as a teenager coming from the city of Detroit, first time leaving the city, just being exposed to the world, needed some discipline. And so the Air Force provided that from day one, with the drill sergeants hollering at you, waking you up at 3 in the morning, so on and so forth. And so it also taught teamwork. And so discipline and teamwork are two crucial skills that are portable to whatever you do in life. And so just having those skill sets have been able to just spill over to everything we've done. So in regards to organizing, you have to have discipline. You have to have the ability to stay on task, to focus on the objective. In the Air Force, they teach you that it's service before self, and then it's one team, one fight. So it also produces some selflessness, and it also produces the ability for you to hone in on what the purpose is, and you can kind of forget what your agenda is and focus on what the objective is and move towards that. Yeah.
Great. Now, as a parent organizer, I would assume that effective communication is key, especially in the school district.
Yeah.
Can you share a time where you may have been working in the school and the communication between the school and the stakeholder, the parent, broke down? And what was the result of that?
Actually, we would facilitate yearly workshops called effective communication with the principals and the staff. One of the things we found out is that there's a huge disconnect between communications just from when the parents walk in the door at the front office. The perception is the front office is just terrible, customer service is bad. And that's not necessarily the case. It's just that you may have an onslaught of parents coming in at one time and very little staff, and so they have to deal with each one. And parents may come in, rush, double park, cars still running. So in that regards, we wanted to first and foremost put the onus on the teachers and the staff to learn how to effectively communicate with the parents. A lot of times we shift the place of authority. So we put the authority per se in the principal, the teachers, not understanding that the parents and the students are the client. Without any students, without any parents, there are no schools. There's no work for the principal. So we want parents to understand their value, but we also want the principals and the teachers to understand the value of their parents, of their students. So communicating effectively helps across the board. It gets rid of all misconceptions, all embellishments that the children may produce. So ideally, you want parents to want to come to the school. just on a regular, not when there's something bad taking place. And so having that effective communication makes it free for the parents to feel welcomed in the school and to be able to, whatever academic level they may be on, to be able to engage effectively with the parents. Because a lot of times parents may get intimidated when you see those letters behind the PhDs, the MEDs behind those names. And so that kind of causes them to steer away. But when you have that effective communication, you can disregard all of the letters and see that they're meeting me where I am, and we can find out what needs to be done, how can I be better served. So yeah,
What does effective communication sound like?
effective communication sounds like knowing who you're talking to. So it requires doing some research about the person or the individuals, the families that you're talking to. And so it could consist of asking questions like, what are some things that you like to do? What are some things that your children like to do? How was your education experience growing up? Things like that. So once you get the context of the person you're talking to, then you can kind of tailor your conversation and alter what it is you're trying to convey in a manner that they can understand.
Now, we both know that whenever we want to figure out somebody's agenda, we know just follow the money, right? Wherever the money is,
Yeah.
that's where you're going to find the agenda. So, and from my perspective, it seems as if capital has deteriorated the structure of public education. How can we overcome that? And like, what are some solutions?
Don't get me in trouble.
What is your solution?
Okay, my solution obviously is to level the playing field. Obviously, if we really look holistically at a school system, Detroit specifically is one of the DPS CD is one of the it's the biggest district in the state. So with that, you have a lot of resources, you have a lot of assets, you have a lot of real estate, you have employees, you have per pupil funding with those students, and you have title federal funding. So that's a lot of money that comes with that. And so people want money. People want to get a hold to those resources. And so you see, I was just reading how in 2009, when emergency management came, we had 87,000 students. Here we are in lieu of emergency management, which was supposed to come and rectify the financial situation and whatnot. We've lost half of that. So we're literally almost down 40,000 students.
Where are they going?
So they're
Charter schools in the
charter
city?
schools. They're being bused to charter schools out of the city. Some have left the state. Some have dropped out. Some are homeschooled. So it's a litany of education opportunities out there. But going back to the money and leveling the playing field, I think it's just you have to have people in position who really have a concern for their customer, and specifically dealing with education. um, if we value education for Black children, because that's predominantly who's suffering as a result of this, and understanding the significance it'll play on our future, seemingly it would be a no-brainer to make this thing work. Public education has been around since the 1800s. It's hard pressed to find out why we haven't figured this out yet. With the exception of it's all about the money in a negative sense. So, but we want people who care about our children, who care about our society, who care about leveling the playing field, equality for educational opportunities for all people, and to not keep us in the place of subserviency, if you will, from an educational perspective. Majority of our kids that do graduate, who do matriculate into college, go into remediation because they haven't learned those skills to make them proficient in those core subjects, going all the way back to elementary, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Historically, most students now aren't even at their reading level. So it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot. But first and foremost, we need people who love children, who want to see children educated and put in a position to be successful out here in this world.
What can parents do right now?
Parents have to get involved. They have to learn what's going on around the narrative around education. Seemingly, parents, you would hear every day, all day about parents being upset, marching and lancing outside of legislators' doors, so on and so forth, but that's not the case. And so we need parents to be knowledgeable of what's going on. And so we help to advocate and share that information. But we also want parents not to be apathetic and feel, again, as if there's nothing they can do. And that's kind of how, we'll say it like this. When you have a minority in position, they usually have to put some oppression in place to rule that majority. And so a lot of times they make the majority feel as if they can't do anything, but that's not the case. So if we can come together collectively versus individually, we can really see how much power we have as a parent body. Because again, if they remove their students, there's nothing for the school to do, or the governor, those who are SRO, who are in charge of education. So parents need to get involved, get educated, and take it serious. Take the value, and not to say that they don't, but we all need to just step it up another notch to show those who are in authority that we're serious about our children being educated, and we want the same opportunities that they afford to their children.